Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.
PNC, committed to Central Ohio, for the achiever in you. From these contributing sponsors and viewers like you, thank you.
This time on Broad and High. April is National Poetry Month. Watch as 9 high school students compete for the chance to be named this year's Ohio Poetry Out Loud champion.
Today in America, people were bought and sold.
You were a story of ancestors. Pre-revolutionary Cuba.
Coming up next on Broad and High. Hi everyone, welcome to Broad and High. I'm your host, Kate Quickle. April is National Poetry Month, which means it's time for the annual Poetry Out Loud competition. This is where high school students from around the state memorize and recite works of poetry on stage and in front of a panel of judges. 9 competitors from across Ohio recently descended upon the King Arts Complex in Columbus to compete for the chance to be named state champion. Tonight, we're bringing you their final round performances to see who will go on to represent Ohio in the national contest in Washington, D.C. later this month.
It is my pleasure to welcome you to this 15th annual Poetry Out Loud competition. The Poetry Out Loud National Recitation Contest is an arts education initiative generously sponsored by the National Endowment for the Arts and the Poetry Foundation in association with the Ohio Arts Council. And I've had the privilege of experiencing some of the best poetry ever written, recited by high school students who learned about poetry and themselves through their participation in Poetry Out Loud. I am so pleased to present our 9 state finalists. These students come from across the state and have put in many hours of practice to get to this point. Each of them competed at their high school, then at one of 6 regional semifinals, and then earned the honor of representing their schools and their region at the state finals today. You ready for them? Here they are.
Okay, it's not easy to memorize a poem, and it's even more impressive to recite it with the confidence and grace in front of an audience. I'd like to congratulate all of the students and teachers for their hard work and the accomplishment of making it to this point on the stage. May your poems be your friends for life. The state finals will consist of 3 rounds. Each student will recite 1 poem in each of the first 2 rounds. After round 2 is finished, scores will be tallied to determine which students have scored highest. The top 6 highest scoring students from the first 2 rounds will recite a 3rd poem in the final round. The contestants will be scored in 6 categories: physical presence, voice and articulation, dramatic appropriateness, evidence of understanding, overall performance, and accuracy. For this formidable task, I'd like to thank our 3 distinguished judges, acclaimed poets, Rose Smith, Steve Abbott, and Nancy Kangas.
This time, I came to the starting place with my best running shoes, and pure speed held back for the finish, came with only love of the clock and the underfooting and the other runners. Each of us would be testing excellence and endurance in the other, though in the past I'd often veer off to follow some feral distraction down a side path.
In the huddle, you said, go long. Get open. And at the snap, I took off along the right sideline and then cut across left in a long arc. And I'm sure I was open at several points. Glancing back, I saw you pump fake more than once.
Come, here's a peach, he said, and held it out just far enough to reach beyond his lap, and offered me a room. The one room left, he said, in all of Thessaloniki that night, packed with traders. The peach was lush. I hadn't slept for days. It was like velvet lips.
I thought I was so tough, but gentle at your hands. Cannot be quick enough to fly for you, and show that when I go at your commands. Even in flight above, I am no longer free. You sealed me with your love. I am blind to other birds.
Today, in America, people were bought and sold. 500 for a likely Negro wench. If someone at auction is worth her weight in gold, how much would she be worth? By pound? By ounce?
I met a traveler from an antique land who said, 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies.
For years, you were a story of ancestors. Pre-revolutionary Cuba. Barrios, Donate, Cajata, Villanueva. Family names, strung and pearled in the Caribbean by blood and memory.
Your first thought, when the light snaps on and the black wings clatter about the kitchen, is a bat. The clear part of your mind considers rabies. The other part does not consider, knows only to startle and cower away from the slap of its wings.
Trade versus art. Brain. Brain versus heart. Oh, the earthiness of these hard-hearted times when clinking dollars and jingling dimes drown all the finer music of the soul.
In the long, sleepless watches of the night, a gentle face, the face of one long dead, looks at me from the wall.
Today in America, people were bought and sold. 500 for a likely Negro wench. If someone at auction is worth her weight in gold, how much would she be worth by pound, by ounce?
Everything's been said but one last thing about the desert. And it's awful. During brush fires in the Sonoran Desert, brush fires that happened before the monsoon and in the great, deep, wide, and smothering heat of the hottest months, the longest months.
I am hoping to hang your head on my wall in shame. The slightest taxidermy thrills me. Fish forever leaping on the living room wall. Paperweights made from skulls of small animals.
If Black History Month is not viable, then wind does not carry the seeds and drop them on fertile ground. Rain does not dampen the land and encourage the seeds to root.
'Twas brillig, in the slithy toes did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogroves, and the moon rafts outgrabe. Beware the jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the jubjub bird, and shun the frumious bandersnatch.
I am weary of the working, weary of the long day's heat. To thy comfortable bosom, wilt thou take me, spirit sweet?
For a saving grace, we didn't see our dead, who rarely bothered coming home to die, but simply stayed away out there in the clean war, the war in the air. Seldom the ghosts come back bearing their tales.
How confident I am. It is there. Don't I bring it as if it were enclosed in a fine leather case?
Well, it is the 15th year of Poetry Out Loud. We're making history tonight, something that's never happened before. The scores are so close that all 9 get to do a third poem.
The people I love the best jump into work head first, without dallying in the shallows, and swim off with sure strokes almost out of sight. They seem to become natives of that element, the black, sleek heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing, well done, has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn are put in museums. But you know they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real.
Busy old fool, unruly son, why dost thou thus, through windows and through curtains, call on us? Must to thy motions lovers' seasons run? Saucy pedantic wretch, go chide late schoolboys and sour prentices. Go tell court huntsmen that the king will ride. Call country ants to harvest offices. Love, all alike, no season knows nor clime, nor hours, days, months, which are the rags of time. Thy beams, so reverend and strong, why shouldst thou think I could eclipse and cloud them with a wink, but that I would not lose her sight so long? If her eyes have not blinded thine, look, and tomorrow late, tell me whether both the Indias of spice and mine be where thou left'st them, or lie here with me. Ask for those kings whom thou saw'st yesterday, and thou shalt hear, all here in one bed lay. She's all states and all princes, aye, nothing else is. Princes do but play us. Compared to this, all honors mimic, all wealth alchemy. Thou, son, art half as happy as we, and that the world's contracted thus. Thine age asks ease, and since thy duties be to warm the world, that's done in warming us. Shine here to us, and thou art everywhere. This bed thy center is, these walls thy sphere.
I met a traveler from an antique land who said 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half shrunk a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things. And on the pedestal, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal, these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away.
After the fierce midsummer all ablaze has burned itself to ashes and expires in the intensity of its own fires, there come the mellow, mild St. Martin days, crowned with the calm of peace, but sad with haze. So after love has led us till he tires of his own throes and torments and desires, come large-eyed friendship with a restful gaze. He beckons us to follow, and across cool, verdant vales, we wander free from care. Is it a touch of frost lies in the air? Why are we haunted with the sense of loss? We do not wish the pain back or the heat, and yet, these days are incomplete.
I wander through each chartered street, near where the chartered Thames does flow, and mark in every face I meet marks of weakness, marks of woe. In every cry of every man, in every infant's cry of fear, in every voice, in every band, the mind-forged manacles I hear. How the chimney sweepers cry, every blackening church appalls, and the hapless soldier's sigh runs down blood in palace walls. But most through midnight streets I hear how the youthful harlot's curse blasts the newborn infant's tear and blights with plagues the marriage hearse.
Ginsberg, Ginsberg, burning bright, taunter of the ultra-right, what blink of the Buddha's eye chose the day for you to die? Queer-pied piper, howling wild, mantra-minded flower child, queen of Maytime, misrules Lord, bawling, drop out, all aboard. Who will fill your sloppy shoes? What a catch for death. We lose glee, sweetness, freaky light. Ginsberg, Ginsberg, burning bright. Thank you.
It is a dangerous thing to forget the climate of your birthplace, to choke out the voices of dead relatives when in dreams they call you by your secret name. It is dangerous to spurn the clothes you were born to wear for the sake of fashion. Dangerous to use weapons and sharp instruments you are not familiar with. Dangerous to disdain the plastered saints before which your mother kneels, praying with embarrassing fervor that you survive in the place you have chosen to live, A bare, cold room with no pictures on the walls. A forgetting place where she fears you will die of loneliness and exposure. Jesús, María y José, she says. El olvido is a dangerous thing. Thank you.
The glories of our blood and state are shadows, not substantial things. There is no armor against fate. Death lays his icy hand on kings. Scepter and crown must tumble down, and in the dust be equal made with the poor crooked scythe and spade. Some men with swords may reap the field and plant fresh laurels where they kill, but their strong nerves at last must yield. They tame but one another still. Early or late, they stoop to fate and must give up their murmuring breath when they, pale captives, creep to death. The garlands wither on your brow, then boast no more your mighty deeds. Upon death's purple altar now, see where the victim bleeds. Your heads must come to the cool tomb. Only the actions of the just smell sweet and blossom in their dust.
The dying words of goeth. Light, more light. The shadows deepen, and my life is ebbing low. Throw the windows widely open. Light, more light before I go. Softly, let the balmy sunshine play around my dying bed. Ever the dimly lighted valley, I with lonely feet must tread. Light, more lights, for death is weaving shadows round my waning sight, and I fain would gaze upon him through a stream of earthly light. Not for greater gifts a genius, not for thoughts more grandly bright. All the dying poet whispers is a prayer for light, more light. Heed not the gathered laurels fading slowly from his sight. All the poet's aspirations center in that prayer for light. Gracious Savior, when life's daydreams melt and vanish from the sight, may our dim and longing vision then be blessed with light, more light.
So we'll announce our three winners. Our third place winner is Zuri Pope Jr., Piqua High School, Piqua.
Ginsberg, burning bright, taunter of the ultra-right.
Our second place winner, Montserrat Tellawell Flores Jr., St. Francis de Sales High School, Columbus.
It is a dangerous thing to forget the climate of your birthplace.
The first place prize, the winner of Ohio's Poetry Out Loud competition and the new Poetry Out Loud state champion, is Austin Smith. Bexley High School, Bexley.
saucy pedantic wretch. Go chide late schoolboys and sour prentices. Go tell court huntsmen that the king will ride.
We wish you the best as you and a chaperone travel to Washington, D.C. to represent Ohio at the Poetry Out Loud National Finals.
And that's our show for today. We're leaving you with the sounds of Columbus singer-songwriter T1. For all of us here at WOSU, I'm Kate Quickle. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here next week with more great stories of Columbus creativity.
'Cause I'm in here for the long ride, and I don't plan to die. Yeah. I plan on taking glory the way that you never knew it. I plan on showing you the way that you should always do it.
Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.
PNC, committed to Central Ohio, for the achiever in you. From these contributing sponsors and viewers like you, thank you.